Now we are doing an experiment of saturation and supersaturation. I've put some of this substance here into the water and I stirred it and see what I've gotten. I want to put more of this substance. Stir it. I can put a stopper on the test tube and shake it. See? The substance is once again disappeared. You can see? So let's put more of this substance and see what happens. I'll stir it again. Let's put a stopper. Shake it. You can see the salt is disappearing again. It's all disappeared once again. So do you think if you put more salt it will disappear or dissolve? Let's see. By putting more salt. Let's see if it will dissolve again. Let's use a stopper and shake it again. Shaking the test tube. Wow, the salt is dissolved again. Let's continue. Put more salt. Salt. Let's see if the salt will dissolve again. Put the stopper and shake the test tube. This is what's happening. It's dissolving, but it's not dissolving as quickly as it dissolved earlier on. Almost every bit of it is dissolved. Can you see what's happening? It's all dissolved. So let's put more salt. Put more salt. Put more salt. Okay. Now let's see if the salt will dissolve again. I can just put my stopper and shake it very well. Shaking the test tube to dissolve the salt in the solution. Dissolving. Do you think everything has dissolved? No. Let's shake the test tube really hard. Now, no matter how I shake it, the salt has refused to dissolve this time around. So we see that no matter how I shake it, the salt will no more dissolve. Let me try to stir it and see. The salt did not still dissolve. Let me shake it one more time. So it seems that no matter how much I shake it or stir it, I can't get the salt to dissolve anymore. We call this saturation. Saturation. Now I'm going to apply heat to this solution and see what happens. You can see the salt is right underneath. It will not dissolve any longer, and this is saturation. So let's apply heat to this and see what happens. So let's apply heat to this saturated solution. Remember, you can see the salt cannot dissolve any longer. So we are applying heat to this saturated solution, and we said this is a point of saturation. So let's apply heat and see what happens. Applying heat. Hot plate. Actually, when you want to apply heat, you can put water rather than putting it directly on the hot plate. When you are doing your own experiment, you can get a small container and put water in it. When the water is boiling, you put the test tube right into the boiling water. That's a better way of applying heat to the saturated solution. Now, can we see what is happening? Can we see that the salt is dissolving? Almost everything is dissolved. Can you see? I'll put a stopper and shake it very well. Can we see that almost every crystal is dissolved? So we see after applying heat to the saturated solution, the salt that didn't get dissolved earlier on is all dissolved now. So let's put more salt and see what happens. Put more salt. Stir it. There's still a little bit at the bottom, so I'll apply heat and see what happens. Again, can we see that the salt is dissolving again? As I said, remember, rather than applying heat directly to the test tube as we are doing here, when you are doing your own experiment, ensure that you put it in a bowl of hot water. It's a better way of applying heat. Can you see that it's all dissolved again? There's no more salt. The salt is completely dissolved again. And see, there's no more salt at the bottom. Let's put more salt. I'll put more salt. Put a lot more salt. Put more salt. Okay. Let's see. I'll stir it. Now let's apply heat and see if it will dissolve any further. Let's see. We are applying heat to see if the salt will dissolve again. I'll use the stopper and shake it, shaking it. Can we see? The salt is not dissolving any further. Let me see if I apply heat, if it will dissolve or not. I'm shaking the test tube again to see if the salt will dissolve or not. Can see some salt at the bottom. So this time around, no matter how much I stir or shake or apply heat, the salt does not dissolve any further. This stage is called supersaturation. Supersaturation. When the earth was first forming and the earth was very, very hot, at that time things were in a supersaturated state. As the earth cooled down, the different rocks and minerals and crystals were formed. What is really exciting is that each substance forms its own crystal. So if you make a supersaturated solution out of water and copper sulfate and then let it cool like the earth cooled, you can find a crystal. So you can go ahead and do your own experiment or your experiments just as we have demonstrated here. The experiment on saturation and supersaturation, and see if after cooling the supersaturated solution you can have your own crystal or crystals. So it's your own turn now to carry out your own experiments.